Good evening, and I welcome you, students. A very amazing session, amazing lecture, and very important topic structure of the atom. By now, the story of the atom is becoming more and more clear. What we said? The Dalton, it began with Dalton in 1803 when he said atom is indivisible. But then the idea was rejected. Why? Because subatomic particles were discovered by the scientists. Which three particles were discovered by the scientist, students?
Protons, neutrons, and electrons.
Okay. So with the discovery of subatomic particles, as the important experiments were done, who discovered the electron, students?
J.J. Thomson.
Okay. So he has performed an experiment which is done in a cathode ray tube, as you will learn in higher classes. Discharge through gases experiments were being done during the period of the 19th century, and they were able to observe the negatively charged particles emitted from the cathode moving towards the anode. And then what they did, the charge of the electron was determined and mass of the electron was also determined. After that, which other particle was discovered?
Neutron.
Before neutron, there is also another one, proton, positively charged particles. How the positively charged particles were discovered? Which rays are these?
Canal rays.
Canal rays. Name the scientist.
J.J. Thomson.
No, J.J. Thomson discovered electrons. Canal rays. When I talk of canal rays.
E. Gaussian.
Okay, all right. Our purpose is to give a recap, and just because you have a, the mind is made up of two things, conscious and unconscious mind. So what happens? By the time I ask a question, this is a conscious mind which is acting, but data is stored in the unconscious mind. So it will capture from that and give certain things. So we revise and try to get the data stored in our brains, because what happens as we proceed, after 1 week, the data may be deleted because we are not repeating. As we repeat, then what happens? Then it gets stored in our mind more strongly. So three particles, neutrons, were discovered by
James Chadwick.
All right, students. So we are very important thing that three particles have been discovered. Three particles have been discovered, which we call as the subatomic particles. So the structure of the atom. After that, the story began about the model of the atom. So we started with Thomson atomic model. What are the limitations and drawbacks of the Thomson atomic model, students?
Sir, in Thomson atomic model, it wasn't acceptable by some other scientists.
What is the reason for that? That's what we are asking, student. These are the questions which will come in the exams. What are the limitation, drawbacks of the, why a model has been given is rejected? Why? There has to be some scientific experiment, scientific basic of rejecting any model, and it cannot explain certain scientific results, which scientific results were not explained by Thomson. Very important experiment was done by which scientist?
Rutherford.
Rutherford. A wonderful experiment and discovery of the nucleus. A nucleus by the Rutherford alpha scattering experiment. What he used? Which foil he used?
Gold foil.
Thin gold foil was used, and what he did? Bombarded alpha particles. Yes, and after the observations, what were the conclusion? That inside an atom is a nucleus, positive, where the entire mass is located, and positive particles are inside the nucleus. They are called nucleons, and the size of the nucleus is very small as compared to the size of the atom. Electrons are orbiting around the nucleus. Then the Rutherford proposed his own model, which was also having limitations and drawbacks. Can you tell me what are the limitations and drawbacks of the Rutherford atomic model, students?
Sir, physicists said that after the electrons lose their energy, there would be no acceleration, and they would get inside the nucleus.
All right, any accelerated charge particle will emit energy, and if it emits energy, what will be the result of that? If it is orbiting around the nucleus, it will fall inside the nucleus, and this is not going to be a stable stable situation, stable model. Therefore came the Bohr. What was the purpose of the Bohr? What he wanted to show? What
Sir,
did
he wanted to show that there are some special orbits in which electrons move, and sir, these electrons radiate energy.
the main purpose was Bohr was to whatever drawbacks were there, whatever limitations were there, whatever problems were there in the Rutherford model, he wanted to solve them. And to solve them, he proposed his postulates, which are called Bohr's postulates. So there were a lot of experiments on hydrogen spectrum, and many other experiments were going on to support what Bohr has proposed. So the great man Bohr then proposed his own atomic model, which is called Bohr's atomic model. And beyond that, so many things have happened which are not in our course, which you will learn in other classes. But that model is so far so good because it could explain a lot of things. And also the most important part of Bohr's theory is that it could explain the distribution of electrons around the nucleus, because that is important from chemistry, because in chemistry we have told you that there is an outermost shell, there is an outermost orbit, or what we call as valence electron. What are valence electron, students?
Sir, the electrons in these special orbits.
Special, there all the orbits are special. Then what is the meaning of that? Valence electrons, those electrons which are present in the outermost orbit, outermost shell, they are the electrons which are most loosely bound by the nucleus. So they will be participating to form the compounds or chemical bonds, which will be learned very soon. Why do atoms combine? What is the valency? So valency will be decided. What is valency, students? We discussed about valency also. What do you mean by valency of an element?
The combining capacity of an element.
So why will an element combine, students?
Sir, to become stable.
Stable. What is the criterion to become stable, students?
Sir, it should be octet.
Octet where? In the outermost?
Yes, sir.
So we also defined then why Bohr's theory was very good, because there are two important things which were given by Bohr and Bury. Bohr and Bury, the two persons come together and they propose certain rules. What rules were proposed by them? What is the maximum number of electron in a shell, students? What is the formula they proposed?
The 2n square.
2n square, where n can be, n is equal to 1 is the first shell, n equal to second, 3, and so on, student. So as you keep on increasing the value of n, the number of electrons will increase to n square. And at the same time, what was suggested for the stability, the outermost shell will have maximum of
8 electrons.
8 electrons. So the whole purpose and game was that as they realized that there are noble gases which are inert elements, which are not reacting, like, can you give me the names of few elements which are not reacting?
Helium, neon, argon.
All right, these are called the inert noble gases now, noble, because they have no tendency to react. Why they do not react, students?
Because, sir, they have full 8 electrons.
Or helium has 2, maximum in the first shell, 2 electrons can be there.
They are already stable.
Stable because they have completed their outermost shell, and therefore they are satisfied. They don't want to react, neither they want to lose electron or they gain electrons. So they have already completed what we are saying, octet. That was an octet rule idea. So which says they have achieved everything in their life, so they don't want to struggle anymore. Atoms which have not achieved anything, they want to struggle, and they will keep on reacting and forming compounds. And so many, the entire matter is made up of atoms, and you have how many different types of matter around you, which means these atoms combine to form molecules, compounds, and tendency is there. So that was a important thing. Students, you know that the number of protons are present where inside the atom?
In the nucleus.
Protons are present inside the nucleus. So we are saying, student, that there is a nucleus in every element, in every atom. Every atom has a nucleus, and every nucleus has a proton, has protons, has proton or protons. Okay? Will have protons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or any number. And the number of proton will change. Then what will happen? the atom will change
Yes, sir.
or a new element will be formed. In other words, student, what I'm saying, that elements, I'm saying elements, supposing hydrogen, I said hydrogen element has one proton. It has one proton, student. And when I come to the next element, supposing next element is helium, and we are saying it has two protons. So hydrogen, helium, if I say lithium, I say it has three protons, helium, lithium, hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron. Like this, student, you will see that as I increase the number of elements, as I increase the number of protons, student, by one, I am getting a new element. I am getting a new atom. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And today, if I will see the periodic table, we will explain to you all these things. But right now, you can believe that there is a table in which we have given a list of the elements. You have any idea how many elements have been listed in the modern periodic table?
118.
Very good, very good. 118 elements are there. Do all of them exist? The answer is no. Because after 92, we will find that they are not stable. They have just been listed. They are called synthetic ones. They are prepared in nuclear reactions. The number of naturally occurring elements is less. Now the question is, students, the number of protons as it changes inside the nucleus, you are getting a new element, a new atom. When I am saying, so this number of protons is what we call as atomic number. The number of protons, okay? Number of protons of an element, any element, is called the atomic number. What is it is called?
Atomic number.
Now we were telling you atomic number of carbon is 6, atomic number of oxygen is 8, and at that time the question was asked, sir, what is an atomic number? I said, you wait, and we are coming to that concept. So as I keep on adding one more proton, I get another element, as you can see here. And the result is that the number of protons will change, the element will change. And where are the protons? Inside the nucleus. So this is what we call as atomic number, and it is represented by Z, student. This is a symbol of the atomic number or number of protons. Number of protons. So here is a definition. Atomic number or proton number Z of a chemical element is the number of protons found in the nucleus of an atom. It is also identical to charge number of the nucleus. Atomic number uniquely identifies a chemical element, student. If atomic number will change, what will happen? Will it be the same element?
No, sir.
Atomic number changes, then you are having a new element. Second, if you say same atomic number, means same number of protons.
Yes.
And that means same element. Same element. So this is very important point, student. So what identifies a chemical element? Number of protons or atomic number, students. So the interesting part of the modern periodic table is that we start from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this, we go to 118, students. So what those numbers are representing in the modern periodic table? In the modern periodic table, you say 1, 2, 3, you are going up to 118. What are these, students? These are the atomic numbers.
Yes, sir.
Or also number of protons present in the nucleus. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
And no more than 118 has been listed. You see, if something is not stable, then what is the use of listing it? When something can exist, because there are forces, student, which are holding these particles together. When the forces are not stabilized, balance is not there, the substance will not, the element will break down, it will not exist. Therefore, students, what is atomic number?
Sir, total number of protons in
In
an
an
atom.
element and represented by Z. So I say, what is the atomic number of chlorine, student? I am saying 17. What it means? Chlorine has got 17
Protons.
protons. I am not saying neutrons, student. Remember, I am talking of protons. Protons are positively charged particles. And when I say, student, that atomic number of supposing oxygen is 8, that what it means, student? How many protons?
8 protons.
8 protons. What is the symbol? I say Z is equal to 8. Here I say Z is equal to 17. Then it becomes which element? If I say Z is equal to 17, name the element.
Chlorine.
Chlorine. Okay? Z is equal to 6, name the element. Any idea?
Carbon.
Carbon. How do we say? 6C. The 6 is written like this. So this is the symbol of the carbon atom and 6C. And that is the atomic number, student. So we have got first information which we are using. Now, what is the next important point, student? Mass number. What is a mass number? See, student, you said inside the nucleus, student, what you have? Protons and neutrons. ठीक है?
Yes, sir.
And when I say mass number, I say mass number of an atom is defined as sum of the number of protons and number of neutrons. And I say A is the symbol of mass number, student. It is equal to total number of protons plus total number of neutrons. That will be called the mass number. Okay? For example, if I say hydrogen, student, H, symbol is H. Supposing I say that it has 1 proton. Okay? 0 neutron. 1 proton, 0 neutron. Then, student, what is the mass number?
1.
Mass number is number of protons 1 plus 0, 1. So, what we do, student? We have a method of writing this. As we have shown here, it is denoted by A, student. Mass number of an atom is defined as, read the statement.
Is the sum of number of protons and sum of neutrons.
Now here I have the symbol of the element. I'm saying let it be X element. Then here is my atomic number. Here is my mass number. Got the idea? Z is atomic number. A is the mass number. Mass number, symbol of the element, atomic number. So how will I represent this hydrogen? Then you will say 1H1. Okay?
Yes, sir.
So if I supposing I take carbon, student, see, you are saying carbon has 6 protons and 6 neutrons, student. Then what is the mass number of carbon? What is the
12.
mass number? A, 6 plus 6, 12. How will I represent it? 6C12. Okay? Atomic number and mass number. What is that? This one? Mass number
Yes, sir.
And what is this? Atomic number. For example, oxygen. I am saying 8 or 16. What is the meaning of 8 or 16? Question. 8 or 16. What it means to you, student? What it means?
Sir, 16 is mass number and 8 is atomic number.
Mass number 16 and atomic number 8. It means how many protons?
8.
How many neutrons?
8.
8. So the idea is coming now, protons and neutrons. One more statement is there. He says mass number is nearly equal to atomic mass of an atom. How much justified it is, students? Why did I write like this? That mass number is 12. Then you are saying then atomic mass is also 12, almost. Why did I use this statement, student? Can you explain? In an
Sir,
atom, there are 3 particles: protons, neutrons, and electrons. But we are saying mass number is nearly equal to mass, atomic mass of an atom. Why did we use this statement, students?
Sir, because atomic mass is the sum of protons and neutrons, and since the weight of electrons is very less, so it is negligible.
Negligible. Okay. So what you said, students, to be more, what we said, mass of the atom. If I say, you are saying mass of an atom will be, mass of atom will be mass of protons plus mass of neutrons plus mass of electrons. Okay? Total.
Yes, sir.
That is what you are saying. Now, mass of atom I am saying. So this is negligible. Negligible, student. And therefore we are neglecting it. Then the mass of the atom becomes sum of the mass of protons and mass of the neutrons, which we are saying is nearly equal to atomic mass of an atom, mass number. So then the number of protons and neutrons, then I say, for example, for carbon, if I write 6C12, student, that means it has 6 protons and 6 neutrons. So we say that the mass of carbon C612 is how much? 12U. 12U. U is an atomic mass unit, which is the atomic mass unit scale. So mass of one atom of carbon comes to be 12U. Okay? Because the mass of electron is negligible. We have neglected it. Is that justified, students?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I will say, oh, water, heal me, and let me sip water. Okay. So far, so good. We have coming that what is the meaning of atomic number, what is the meaning of mass number, and how do we represent them. Clear?
Yes, sir.
More information, student. There is, as I always say, students, slow and steady
Always wins the race.
wins the race. If I go very fast, student, then what happens? If you drive very fast, what will happen? One time, tell me. You are likely to be having a crash somewhere.
Yes, sir.
What is our safe side? That we drive slowly. We are safe, student. When we study each and every word, each and every line, try to understand it. We have an intention of learning. Then we will learn it very clearly, and the data gets stored in our mind. It's better to spend more time in learning, because there is no shortcut for anything in life. You think that top players have any shortcuts? No. They have worked for many years to give a performance. Final performance is not just a one-day performance. It is a performance of many, many hours which they have spent throughout their career or life. So students, we try to go slow and understand. So protons or neutrons are called, student, Nucleons. What are nucleons, students? Protons and neutrons are inside the nucleus. Where are they?
Inside the nucleus.
Inside the nucleus. And these are called nucleons. They must be held by some forces, nuclear forces. There are some nuclear forces which are holding them, otherwise they cannot be stable. Anything which is together, there has to be some force between them, that we have realized. So these are nucleons. They are held by forces which are very strong. These are nuclear forces. You will learn more about them next time. For example, we say mass of carbon is 12U. We have just explained to you that 6C12, when I write, you are saying the mass of one atom of C12 is how much? 12U. U is the atomic mass unit. That is the mass of one atom of carbon. And when I say aluminium is written like this, student. What it showing? What is the atomic number?
Atomic 13.
Atomic number of aluminium Z13. And what is the mass number of aluminium?
27.
27. Then how many protons are there, student?
27.
27 protons? No,
Protons will be 13.
13 protons. And you said protons plus neutrons is equal to A. Now, what will be the number of neutrons then?
14.
Okay. So students, this is important point. You have protons, how many? 13. Neutrons. So the number of neutrons is coming to be 27 minus 13, 14. So interesting that in the case of aluminium, protons 13, this one is always the atomic number. This is always the
Mass number.
mass number. So you are saying neutrons, student, 14, neutrons 14. So the mass number, and if I say what is the atomic mass of aluminium, you are saying 27 U. U is the unit, 27 unit, atomic mass units. This is the way we are going to now represent. This is the representation. So we have defined, student, what is atomic number, what is mass number, how do we make the calculations of these, students? Any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. Top question is on the screen, student. Number 1. If number of electrons in an atom is 8 and the number of, one interesting thing is that, student, since atom is a neutral, okay?
Yes, sir.
So the number of protons will always be equal to number of
Electrons.
electrons. What we are saying, student, in general, I'm saying, I'm not talking of charged particles. I can say that you are saying atom is neutral till it form compounds or ions or other thing. I'm not talking that. If atom is neutral, then number of protons should be equal to number of electrons, because the charges must be equal and opposite. Since the charge of proton is equal and opposite in magnitude to the charge of the
Electron.
So therefore we can say that. Can we?
Yes, sir.
So charges. Now what is the question, students? Number of electrons in an atom is 8. Number of protons are, then what is the atomic number and what is the charge? What is the charge on the atom, student? You have 1 to 2 minutes to answer the question.
Sir, atomic number will be 8.
What do you say? Let me first write down number of electrons. How many?
8.
8. Number of protons? 8. What is atomic number, student?
Number of protons.
8. What is the charge?
No charge.
The magnitude of charge of electron and magnitude of opposite, equivalent opposites, therefore no charge. No charge, or what we say, it is neutral. Neutral atom. Very good, very good. That's the correct answer. That means you have understood the idea. With the help of table 4 find out the mass number of oxygen and sulfur atom. What is the table, student? In the table, student, they have given the number of, in the NCERT book, there is a table, student. In that table, what they have given for table 4.1 was given by us in the previous, where in they have given the number of protons, number of neutrons. Okay? For oxygen, number of protons 8 and number of neutrons 8. And in the table, if we see, this is for oxygen and for sulfur. For sulfur, what is the number of protons in the table, students?
16.
16. And what is the number of neutrons?
16.
Then find out the mass number. What is the mass number for oxygen?
16.
8 plus 8, 16. What is the mass number for sulfur?
32.
For sulfur. This is for oxygen. थोड़ा सा क्या हो रहा? Okay, sorry. So pen. This is happening, student. Let me see. Check the pen. ठीक है. So for sulfur, student, what is the answer coming? 16 plus 16 is 32. ठीक है?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we know now, student, how to find the number of protons and neutrons. Now one more interesting thing happens now. What happens, student? It has been found there are certain elements, student, that it was found that elements have the same atomic number but have different number of neutrons. It was observed. What was observed? That when the elements were studied, student, they found that there are atoms with the same number of protons but have different number of neutrons. Important point. When I say elements were, it was found, student, that elements have certain element, most of the element they will find, they have same number of protons. What it means? Atomic number Z is the same. When atomic number is same, student, number of protons is same. Does it mean same element or different element?
Same element.
Okay, that means the same element. but they found they had different number of neutrons, same number of protons, same element, but number of neutrons was found to be different student. And this gave the idea, these such elements are called isotopes. Iso means same element having different number of neutrons, then the mass number will be different, but atomic number is same. What will happen to the mass number? Tell me, mass number A, how do you calculate? P plus N.
Yes, sir.
Then what will happen to the number of neutrons is different, then mass number will be different.
Yes, sir.
Very important. So those elements which have the same atomic number, but different mass number different, atomic number same, they are called isotopes. So isotopes are atoms with the same number of protons but have different number of neutrons. Since atomic number is equal to number of protons and atomic mass is sum of the protons, isotopes are elements have the same atomic number but different mass number. So when they found out, student, for hydrogen, they found hydrogen exists in 3 isotopes. There are 3 isotope, students. Here we have shown this 1H1, number 1, number 2 deuterium, and 3. There are 3 isotopes. Atomic number same, mass number different. What it means? How many protons are there in this? How many neutrons are there here? Tell me. In the first case.
0.
How many protons here?
1.
How many neutrons?
1.
1. How many protons in tritium?
1.
1. How many neutrons?
2.
Interesting thing, students. What do you find? Number of neutrons 0, number of neutron 1, number of neutron 2. So the number of neutrons has changed, but the number of protons remains the same. What do we call these elements as? Isotopes. In the nature, the abundance of these is different, student. They are not existing in the same proportion. That this may be existing, maximum percentage is this one, 99.9% supposing, and this may be very, very small, and this may be extremely small. The exact percentages are available in the books where we can study, and in next class you will learn all this. So they are present in very small amounts, very, very trace amounts I'm saying, and that also very small, and maximum amount is this in our nature, students. So the abundance is different naturally in nature. This is present in trace amounts. Trace amounts in chemistry mean very, very small. So they are different abundant, but these 3 are known, students, for hydrogen. So hydrogen has how many isotopes? 3. Protium, deuterium, and tritium. You have heard about heavy water, student?
Yes, sir.
Where it is used? Heavy water. Heavy water. You have heard about water, student? H2O. You have
Yes,
heard
sir.
about heavy water is D2O. You know where it is used, student? It is used in nuclear reactions, nuclear reactors. It is used in nuclear reactors. Very costly, very difficult to prepare. Heavy water. Nuclear. Once we started talking about nuclear science, nuclear chemistry, nuclear physics, student, all this you will learn. So interesting field and vast subject. Similarly, for carbon, students, I have shown there are 3 isotopes, but abundance will be different, student. This is present maximum. These are present in very, very minute amounts, very, very minute amounts. Tell me how many protons are there in this first one?
6.
How many neutrons?
6.
6. How many in the second one? How many protons?
6.
How many neutrons?
7.
Okay, correct. In the third one, student, how many protons?
6.
How many neutrons?
8.
8 plus 6, 14. So the number of neutrons is changing. This is present in trace amounts. And this isotope of carbon is radioactive, student. Do you know what is a radioactive isotope? What are radioactive isotopes, students?
No, sir.
Okay, we will learn all these things. So, but I'm just giving you more information that these are elements, they emit certain types of radiation, students. They are radioactive. And you have heard about this is a technique called carbon dating. What is a carbon dating? Have you ever heard about it, student? This is used by archaeologists to find the age of old objects, like old tree. If the tree is very, very old, if you find an old bone, student, how you will find the age of this? How you say this tree is 2000 years old? Or you discover some excavation bones of some living organisms, then you date it. You know, dating, they date it. How old is this object? They use carbon dating, student. This isotope of carbon, they find out how much percentage of that is present, because they are aware of the half-life of this C614. So they find out how much of this is present. On that basis, what they say, they date the old trees, plants, or old bones, etc. This is used scientific method of finding the age of the old objects. Got it?
Yes, sir.
And this is present in trace among students. So we are aware now there are isotopes. Atomic number, mass number, and number of neutrons can be different in the element than what we call as isotopes. And if I go more example, student, for example, chlorine. Cl has 2 isotopes. So these are the atomic number, these are the mass number. It is clear how many protons and neutrons will be there. This calculation can be done. So students, what we are getting, many elements consist of mixture of isotopes. Each isotope is a pure substance. If I say chlorine 17 Cl35 and C-mention Cl37, these are the 2 isotopes of chlorine.
Yes, sir.
Each is pure. How many protons are there here? 17. How many neutrons are there in this?
First case 18.
18. How many protons are here in this?
17.
How many neutrons?
20.
20. See, the number of neutrons have changed. So what we call, these are isotopes. And chlorine occurs in nature in 2 isotopic form. Mass is 35U. What will be the atomic mass of this? 35U. 17 plus 18. What will be the mass of this?
37U.
37. 20 plus 37U. In the ratio of 3:1, student. This is present in ratio 3%, 3:1 ratio. Important point. The ratio is, student, abundance. What do you mean by abundance? In nature, what we found, the ratio is found to be 3:1. This is 3 times this. What it means? If this is 75% in nature, then what will be this? 25% abundance. Right?
Yes, sir.
And what I learned about the atomic mass, student, you said the atomic mass is also equal to mass number.
Yes, sir.
Because mass of the electron is negligible. But here you have 2 isotopes. The atomic mass of this is 35U, atomic mass of 37U. And when we will write in the book atomic mass of Cl, then how do we write? 35 or 37? What do we do,
35.
student? Why should I write 35? Because there is a 25% this and 75% this. So in such cases, we use a concept of average atomic mass. Got the point?
Yes, sir.
What we will show in the book, student, is not the mass of a one pure isotope, but we are showing the average of the two. It is not the actual atomic mass of any of the isotopes. Average means we will make a mathematical calculation average of these two, and then we will write in the books. So let us see what do you mean by the average, how much it will come. So student, here is very important point. What I'm saying, chlorine exists as two isotopes. Clear? Chlorine,
Yes, sir.
35, 17 atomic number, mass number 35, and atomic number same, mass number different. Abundance of chlorine 35, 75%. Abundance of Cl 37, 25. So in every 100 in nature, if I will take a sample of Cl, if I take a sample of Cl from nature, you have 75% of this one and 25% of this. So if we want to calculate the average in maths, student, what will be the average atomic mass of Cl then, students? How will you calculate? 35. One is 35, how much? 75%. Plus 37, 25%, student. If I calculate this value, how much it will come? Here we have shown it. What is this? Average atomic mass of Cl. So how much it is coming? Average mass, student, it comes out to be 35.5. So in the books, what they are saying, when I will see the table of the atomic masses, they will say in the case of chlorine 35.5. So you will say, sir, the number of protons and neutrons cannot be fractions. Then why you have written 35.5? Because this is not the actual mass of any of the two isotopes. What is this? Tell me.
Average atomic mass
Of the two isotopes. What we have calculated, average atomic mass of two, how many isotopes? Two isotopes of Cl. Which are the two isotopes? 17Cl35 and 17Cl37. It is not the actual mass, not the actual atomic mass of any isotope, Important. You understood the concept?
Yes, sir.
Students don't know even after passing 12th what it is happening. I'm trying to explain it as simple as possible, students. Therefore, student, what we said for chlorine, and you will find in the table, if you will study the table in the book, student, atomic masses have been listed. Okay? So if I'm using U, atomic mass U 35.5, U, student, U is the atomic mass unit. You will find that these fractions are there because these fractions represent that we have taken the average of the atomic masses of different isotopes which are existing. Some of the applications of student applications. What are the applications of these isotopes? Isotopes have been found very important and they are being used in hospitals and various other places. Important. They will ask you question. The application, chemical properties of all isotopes are same. When I say isotopes, student, chemical properties same. Why? Chemical property same because atomic number
is same.
atomic number same. Therefore, number of protons is equal to number of electrons. Same. So chemical property same. But the number of neutrons different. Okay? So what will happen? There will be some change in their physical properties. Their masses are different. Mass is different. So they will show some different properties that will bring different and special. Some isotopes have special properties, and this will produce some special properties in certain isotopes. For example, an isotope of uranium is used as a fuel in nuclear reactor. Uranium has got 92 U235 and 92 U230. There are two different isotopes of uranium, and one of the two is used as a fuel in nuclear reactors. An isotope of cobalt is used in treatment of cancer. This we will learn in higher classes, what is the actual number of neutrons and protons. Similarly, an isotope of iodine is used in treatment of goiter, student. So you find the isotopes have become useful to us. They can be used in medical science, student, and in the nuclear reactions. In the nuclear reaction, nuclear reactors, nuclear energy, student, is an important thing which we are using. Very good so far. Now another interesting thing is happening, student. It is found that there are certain elements which have the same atomic mass, but different atomic numbers. What do you mean by same atomic mass, student? What is same atomic mass? A means sum of the proton and neutrons is same. But what is different? Z, atomic number is different. Atomic number is different, student. That means they have different number of protons. And such elements are called isobars. What do we call them?
Isobars.
Isotope, isotop कर लिया, isobar कर लिया. Example, 14 argon 18. Tell me how many protons are there?
18.
How many neutrons are there?
22.
Total?
40.
What is 40? A. Okay? This is Z, atomic number 18. Let me take calcium. Tell me what is the number of protons?
20.
Atomic number 20. And what is the number of neutrons?
20.
20. So what is the atomic mass?
40.
20 plus 20, 40. A, 40. And here you find this Z is 20. Okay?
Yes, sir.
And this is 18. So what is happening? Mass number same, which is saying atomic mass same, and atomic number different.
Yes, sir.
What do we call them as?
Isobars.
They are isobars, student. So what we studied, student, this ends up the results of this chapter on atoms, structure of the atom. What we studied, what is atomic number, what is mass number, isotopes, isobars, applications, and why do we have fractional atomic masses in our list of the atomic masses in the different tables, average atomic masses. I hope this solves the complete chapter. We continue more with different type of question answer sessions. And I thank you for participating. I hope you are subscribing the channel and forwarding it to your friends, students.
Yes, sir.
So that these YouTube lectures are useful for you. They will be used in we are giving more information than the 9th class NCERT books, so that they can be used for 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, college, and various other exams and competitions. Bye bye. Then I see you in the next class.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.